Okay, I'm going to do my very best at articulating and describing some very deep thoughts and perceptions that I've been coming to an understanding of lately. Um, in light of what's happening in the outside world, if we look around right now and bear witness to, what our environment is, we're seeing a lot of the shadows being brought into the light, a lot of the darkness being brought into the light, a lot of things that have been hidden being brought out into the open. Um, a lot of things that have been secret are now being disclosed. And in that process, it's an ugly one, the opportunity that exists here on Earth within a duality paradigm of light, dark, good, bad. It's pretty horrifying when it's horrifying, but it's pretty beautiful when it's beautiful too. When we're seeing things like these child pedophilia rings and the mass corruption around money and influence of foreign governments and religions and proxy armies, and all of these things that are coming to light right now, these are pretty horrifying, but they are reflections of us. We are all capable of things that are as equally horrible. We're all born into this world under the same contracts and same conditions that we participate in for the most part. And the outward world that we exist in is in a symbiotic relationship with our inner work and our inner world. And so what's happening for me personally, and I can feel it in others with my correspondence and communications with people that I'm close with, is that darkness is also being brought up in all of us to look at, and it's not so comfortable. And these are coming in the forms of cyclical patterns. Has there ever been anything in your life that you keep reliving a similar experience? Different people, different circumstances, but maybe the same theme. Maybe you are continually being abandoned. Maybe you are continually having to fight for your self-worth. Maybe you're continually in a cycle of shame. Maybe you're continually in a cycle of, not stepping up to your own voice. I'm talking in a more broader sense. The opportunity to do the work right now is being accelerated because the world's doing the work. And so that individual process of really kind of taking a look at yourself, taking, an inventory on what is important to me right now, what am I fighting up against, where are there places that I'm done running that cycle or that system or that program, especially that program. There has been a deep program that is involved with global control and a network and matrix that keeps us subjugated. And so the programming right now that's coming up to be faced has a lot to do with the social stigmas we have, racial stigmas, sexual stigmas, all of these things. It's being brought up because that control matrix is being dragged out into the light. We're all starting to see it. We're all starting to bear witness to it. And when you do that, you can't just let it slide. And the Pedogate stuff is a great example of that right now. You can't just let it slide. You can't ignore it. It's that dark. And when I start looking into those darker things in the world, and they get pretty dark when you start really realizing what's going on, you can feel a sense of just complete overwhelmment. What is the point of being here when all of this stuff is going on? Are humans, bred this way or made this way or instinctually, existing this way? And if so, we're better. The world's better off without us. And I want to say that all of us, when we're born, have the infinite potential for light or dark, and the spectrum in between that here. And the purpose for that I believe, this is just me, this is just my thoughts, is to perpetuate the knowledge and growth and learning of the mass superconsciousness that we are all a part of. Every time I participate in life, every time I interact with another person, every time I have the opportunity to learn, grow, react, these are things that is bringing knowledge to the entirety, to the whole. It's experience that's just stacking up and building and building and building and building and expanding the consciousness that every bit of life exists on here. So when you look at things that are incredibly dark and you get overwhelmed and heartbroken and sick, a real good practice is to step out of the micro, to step out of the worm's eye view. You can choose to see what's available here, which are sick individuals perpetrating horrible things on a horrible level, and you can feel that all. And you can try and battle with the natural human emotions that come with that for wanting revenge, vengeance, justice, eye for an eye, all of those things. Or you can step back into the macro and look at the experience of duality and what it offers for you as an individual to grow and learn. Where are the places that you're scared to look at? Where is the darkness inside you that you don't want to shine a light on? These are the places that all of this darkness in the outer world and everything that's going on and all the commotion, you can take those and turn it inward and look at, where are those places in me? How do I clear those? How do I bring myself out of the lower vibrations of fear and shame and anger and all of those things and let go of all that and bring myself up into a higher vibration in understanding that wherever there's fear, there's work to be done. Wherever there's fear, there's work to be done. That's something that I've always connected with. And so as you kind of step into doing this work and you start facing this stuff, if you ignore it, if you try to push it aside, it will come at you harder and harder and harder until it hits you in the face or breaks you down. And that is because there is no room right now in this experience to be at that lower vibration. Everyone is being pulled out of it. And that's something that has to do with let's call it the seasons of the cosmos, or the weather of our surroundings. Whatever we want to kind of look at it as, we are being pulled out of lower vibration. And we can go kicking and screaming and fighting and scratching the walls and having our nails come off and going through that horrible experience, or you can just let go. Just let go. And look at those things and see those things. And I promise you that when you start looking at the darker aspects of yourself and acknowledging them, and forgiving yourself, and looking at why you're doing those things, or why you're confronting that same cycle over and over and over again, that when you do the work, that's where it becomes easy. The hardest place is not doing the work. The hardest place is holding on to it. Let it go. Let it go and do the work. Are you tired of continually being in the same cycle? Are you tired of having the same resistance pushed up against you? Let it go and do the work. Look at it. And it's completely individual. There's a level of being able to commune with others and talk about this. And that's a big part of the relationship between that inner and outer that's happening. But really, the inner stuff right now, everyone's got to step up to the plate. It's time. Where's the darkest spaces in you? Where are the shadows? Where are the places you never want to look yourself? Bust out the flashlight, the spotlight, whatever you want to do, and start shining the light there. And clear that stuff and let it go. Start preparing.